Officially, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Market Watch Group Weekly Market Wrap. My name is Scott. I'll be your host. Miguel is here, so we're ready to go. Happy Friday to you as well. As always, let me remind you that this service is for education and illustrative purposes only, so nothing we do or say should be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any financial security or products. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, what are we going to do today? We've got the full hour. We've got an amazing group of traders here. All right, traders, let's get trading. Today's market analysis. Let's look at the posture. Let's get some early predicciones. Let's do I think I should mention that his good morning arrives as a notification at 4:30? Glenn's. Oh. You tell me. Does that mean it's like pinging you? It's intrusive at that time? I mean, that's an early time. So anyway, yeah. Wakes you up sometimes. That's fair. That's fair. Now here's the thing. What's your thought then? Earliest is we always like to ping 5 minutes before we start a session. We put one. Now it automatically, so let's talk about this for a second. I'm glad we're talking about it. It is it's automatic on Circle 1 hour before any of these scheduled meetings. So if the meeting starts at 7:15, that's 6:15, and that is 5:15. Now, you have the ability to control your settings of notifications. So let me show that here. I'm glad you brought this up. This is important. I think sometimes we're just like, oh, this is how. No, I definitely want to know that. So, yeah, okay. What else then? We'll talk about times. Mindset for trades. Carry some, keep some, take some, close some, probably. I'm not going to carry. I gave Duke every opportunity I could. Going to shut her down. Small loss. I don't know. I might book a lot of them, actually. PLTR is close to earnings. It's got a great gain. I'm going to yank that, probably. Walmart. Book some more, maybe carry a little left. A little probably left of Walmart, little of NVIDIA. What's everyone thinking? Talk to me. What are you guys thinking? What were you going to do? Or were you waiting to hear me? I don't know. We'll talk about it. What to look for next week? We'll look at the economic calendar. We'll look at the list. We are about to finish Section 8 next week, and then we're going to start over on Section 1. When we start over on Section 1, so there's one more week, we're also going to launch the first version of the 2-week traders new trader blueprint or something along those lines. The name's not formal yet. I'm open to suggestions, but we're going to do the way that we cycle through on an 8-week basis, 1 week at a time, the trading plans, just broadly. We're going to do a 2-week cycle on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesday, Thursday, start over. And in that cycle, we're going to touch on a new trader's blue. What are the things you need to start? You can't have that whole trader plan because you can only build it as you're trading it. But what do you need to start with? That's kind of the thought process there. So I'm excited for that. So we're going to have kind of 2 trading plans loops going simultaneously, the full 8-week loop, and then we'll have the 2-week beginners loop. It's going to be beautiful. I'm excited. You should be excited. We're all excited. I love when I have a very fresh, brand new cup of coffee for this. Sometimes I come in with like 1 inch left, and then I'm like, what have I done? Okay, let's do it. Let's get to the market. Of course, start with the SPY. Prospects for new trades today. It's unlikely. You know, I'm looking to get 2, maybe 3 alerts a week. We got 2 on early this week. You know, I'm excited to Captain John. Captain John, are you new or are you a different John? Because I have a lot of different Johns. Captain John, if you're new, number one, I love coming in with a name like Captain John. And I'm only ever going to say Captain. I'm never going to say Captain. It's only Captain. Fairly new. Welcome, Captain John. Made your money on NVIDIA. Love it. Love it. You had plenty of time to get out at that 115 target. The question is, do you carry some to see if it can get on up to that next one? My answer is maybe. So I'm going to have a little piece left. Just a little piece left. I've booked a good amount of that one. Only had the one. Makes sense to me. Good. Since we're talking about it, let's bring it up. I love it. I'm almost going to talk myself out of it as I'm looking at it. We're dojied up. We're smashing up against 1, 2, 3 times here at 115. Stochastics is pinched and it's just kind of hovering. Yeah, you know what? I am done too. If you feel like I'm on a different platform, possibly distracted sometimes, I'm not. You shouldn't think that way. That's not true. Why would you think that? Horrible thing to think about a person. Okay, maybe. What else? NVIDIA. Yeah, 115. That was the target, 115. Well, that's not true. There was 2 targets. 115 was the primary target. The primary target is 121. That's up here. Am I losing hope for that? Yeah, kind of. Look at that volume. We tried. We got up here. It's just, if I was a 2.5, 3 on the market posture or more, I would definitely hold it longer than this. I'd be like, hell yeah, let's hold it and see if it gets up to our target. Of course I'm going to hold it longer. We're not that. We're a minus 1.75. I said that so confidently, and then I panicked right at the end like, are we? Of course we are. I knew that the whole time. Let's just get ready for next week a little bit, shall we? What is next week's date? The 4th of May. The 4th of May. Amazing. We're at minus 1.75. We're still thinking, hey, we're in the woods still. So, yeah, as I say it, I'm going to do it. I feel like if it was going to get there, if we were going to get there, now Steven's saying we should get close to 0. That's a big jump, Steven. That's a big jump. 1.5 jump? Well, I don't know. If I thought we were getting 1.5, I'd probably hold a little bit more. I'm not holding this. I just feel like it's not. I don't. The reward to risk isn't there for me. To hold through a Friday to get a little bit more? Nah, I'm done with it. Is anybody holding their NVIDIA longer? Let me know. If anyone's holding theirs longer, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Another one that we're in is Walmart. Walmart looks fantastic. All of a sudden, I was getting a little worried about it. So let's talk about you, Walmart. We've expressed a confidence of this with its defensiveness, and it's worked out. Now you can see initial target at 99.5, which we did not get to today, but we are close. I said earlier it would not be good to hold NVIDIA through the weekend, and I agree. Yeah, unless, right? Unless. But the unless criteria were not met. In my mind, I was thinking I was closer to it than when I saw it again just now, which is why we, measure twice and cut once, ideally. Upon second measurement, I realized it was time to cut it. Whereas this one, I'm going to take some, keep some. Right? Take some, keep some. One of the things we talked about was possibly adjusting the target to an easier target. Do you remember that? If you weren't there yesterday, we did that. Let me go see if I have that. So I said, what if we move our target down to 99 instead? Oh, 99 instead, Scott. Great idea. So if you did that, it hit 99 and you booked a great gain today. Did anyone do that? Or am I just talking into the wind sometimes? That's what I feel like sometimes. I don't mind if I do. 99 I felt like was an easier target. 99.5 you wouldn't have got there. And then you'd be like, what now? So I don't have a what now. I got some off the table. And now, the target was up around 105 and something. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to this level here where it's hit a couple of times. And then let's see if it can keep going. What else could we do? We could move this to a Heikin-Ashi chart. Zoop. And move a stop loss to 96. It's all looking good. It's all looking really good there. Fantastic. Slight adjustment to the trade expectations. Be water, my friends, said the blade of grass as the lawnmower passes by overhead. How's that for a statement? That encapsulates our group. Everyone's like, what did you say? And everyone here's like, yeah, facts. That's wisdom. Okay. So Walmart is, for me, and I would love to have an open discussion. Steven likes to try to promote it, but if you're in it, for me, the thought was on NVIDIA, I've got what I was going to get. I'm not going to get that upper echelon target. And that this is not the market that I should try to push for that upper echelon target on a trade like NVIDIA. That's well under its 200-day moving average still. We're just trying to get pieces of the recovery right now. And so now, but then we look at Walmart. Well, that's a different prospect. That stochastics is pointing up. This is a nice, strong day today. Volume's down a little bit, but that's across the board. This is not a tech stock. This is a defensive stock. So take some, keep some, for me is a yes. I booked half the gain at the adjusted target level of 99, and let's see if the rest can make a little bit more. Now let's go look at a different potential trade. There's Duke Energy. Okay. There is Duke Energy. Now, Duke, we were thinking, could this thing get on up towards 124 or 126? I can't get the screen up. It's only showing Scott Beck. Anyone have any advice for Char? Rebooting. Yeah, and maybe not necessarily the machine, but maybe just pop out of the meeting and back in. Something along those lines maybe would work out. But sorry. Everyone else is good. The screen share is good. You're seeing it as you should be seeing it. Just so I'm all good. Okay. Thank you, sir. So we saw this and we're like, hey, look, it pulled back. We had this nice buyer's run. Then we had this consolidation. New support. We turned. We got our cross. Everything lined up. Yes? And then what happened? Nothing. And I said, the only way I'm going to hold this thing through Friday is if it's what? Working. It's not working. That's a close. That's a close. Now what happened? Well, it's right where it was. And people are like, well, it's up today, Scott. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters? It's up today on down volume. Earnings are next week, right after you have one day, you have the weekend. Follow the plan. What did the plan say? The plan said if you got 3 good days, yeah, you might get one more, so hold through the weekend. We didn't. We got 3 iffy days, and what we lost was time decay. So Walmart, winning trade. NVIDIA, winning trade. Duke, losing trade. How much did Duke lose? I don't know, 20% of what was expected? This is what I want. Of course we're going to have losers. Of course things aren't going to work out. This was a very calculated trade, very specific. Shut it down, take the small loss, move on. Anyone in this? So we talked about Duke, Walmart, NVIDIA, Palantir. 3 of those were alerts. One of them was kind of like a, hey, I know at least a couple people got in it and a few thought about it but didn't. But, I hope you're not only relying on alerts, but also we're like, hey, this is close. Only Walmart and NVIDIA. Well, those are 2 good ones. Okay, let's see if Char gets the screen share this time. Hopefully, coming back in. Char, let us know if that got the problem fixed. Hopefully so. We hope that it's working. Okay. Duke, negative. Seem to get caught on tight stops. When I decide to loosen a little bit, it doesn't move. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. Don't make more back and forth adjustments. Be comfortable now what you've adjusted to, knowing that you got there for a reason and that one myopic perspective of a current event is not going to, right? Because I get it. We do that. It's too tight. It's too loose. It's too tight. It's too loose. And you're like, come on now, Goldilocks. Let's find some middle ground. I do it all the time. Beautiful. Thank you for letting us know. Welcome back in. So yeah, I get it. It's frustration. But I think you're finding your place. Make sure that you're thinking about that place, that thought that he's putting on is, how tight or not for stops. That's a fluid adjustment based on, market conditions. And as I'm saying that, he's probably thinking, yeah, that's what I did. Well, that's the problem sometimes, is that in a whipsaw type condition, that's hard to get right. It's not like you did something wrong. It's that the market was hard, because if the market's whipsawing and you're trying to adjust and you're like, I better tighten it up. And then all of a sudden you're like, if I would have left it a little, and then the market whipsaws the other way. That's not mistakes. That's one of the things we really have to try to do is clarify, like, was it a mistake, or was it that, I tried and then the market was still this type of a condition? I mean, it hopefully was a mistake in that it didn't work out, but was it that like you did something wrong, or that what you did turned out to be wrong? Subtle, but and I'm certainly the first one to say, when something goes wrong, where's the first place to look? In the mirror. That's the first place, right? The first thing I do is I'm like, was this you? Did you do this? You bastard. Not again. And then we can start scapegoating somewhere else. If that's the methodology, I think you'll find your improvements come so much faster and more clearly. Humility. What an important part of this prospect. Anyways. Okay. 4 trades. They all, here's Palantir. Let's go look at that one. If anyone's in that one, looks fantastic. Great day today. I praised Palantir as a top 3 from last year. I did a little song and a dance, and this is what we get rewarded with. All the way back up to the top of the cup. All the way to the top of the cup. The Friday before Earnings Monday, even though Earnings Monday is after market. Yeah, I don't care. Dunzo, funzo. That's it. That's the trade. Very much like Palantir. It's my favorite again. Now what? Now what do we hope for? We hope for the cup and handle. We hope for the cup and handle to come in here. Yeah, maybe it pulls back a little bit on earnings. Great. That's fine. If it breaks out, then what? Then there is no handle. Then we have to still wait for it to pull back and maybe catch that. I'd rather see that, since I'm going to be getting out and waiting and then hoping for the next trade. I understand, Miguel. I understand. I tell people sometimes, as I was, when I did a lot more coaching, I was like, I feel like my job is 1/3 coach, 1/3 therapist, 1/3 bartender, depending on the day. Like, sometimes it's like, how did that make you feel? And it's like, I don't want to hear about that. I just want to drink. Give me a drink. Let me bitch and moan a little bit. And it's like, okay, yep, fair. That's fair. Okay. Bad week. Because no one likes the tuition to mount, but hopefully the tuition paid resulted in some very valuable opportunity. Cost is part of tuition. We feel it just as much. Yes? We feel opportunity cost as part of tuition. So it's an ongoing tuition. We always continue to pay. We hopefully don't pay, right? And then we hope we get our money's worth when we pay. That's what's important. Get your money's worth. Okay. I feel like we're having some good discussions today. I hope these are helpful discussions. Let's go look at the range of things. I'm going to go look at the market now. Okay. So we were a bit stuck at the start of this here, right? So I agree. This is good. Plus 0.25. Plus 0.25. Yeah? Anyone see it more than that? I don't want to give it too much. We already scored the higher low here, so we already scored that. Now we have this. And if at this point a consolidation comes, it's going to feel pretty good trading into that, knowing that we're starting to see some increase here and possibly a short-term trend starting to form that we could then say, oh, you know what? That actually looks like a 1 or a 1.25, and we'll see that. But so far, that looks pretty good, an improvement. Number one, I agree with Steven on that. Let's go backwards a step and look at the. Sorry, if you hear little moaning noises, that's Freya. She's in the back, moaning a little. It's pretty hilarious. 3 weeks. Okay, we got to the red line. To it. It's a little bit into the red line. For me, it's not enough to score, though. That's to it. Right? That's to the red line. I don't think I'm going to raise my long-term score here. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. Maybe I will. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to hold off. We'll see. I'm leaning towards not. I don't think it was enough. Okay. Volume. So volume is organically getting closer and closer to a closer and closer to a positive score organically. And this is something we've talked about happening. So now we're at a point where what do we consider stale? Well, the last week, if we say, you know what, we're going to throw the last week out as stale, that leaves us with 2 days. A buy and a sell. 1 and 1. If we keep the last week, but we say it's kind of limited, what do we have? We have buy, we have sell, 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 buy, so, and a tie. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that at this point, the trough of this sell-off is so close to the edge, it's going to disappear during the week, leaving us only with this. I might go ahead and move towards this thought process, which would equate to a 0.25 jump on volume. Give me your thoughts on that one, people. I need to hear from the group. It's quiet today. I know it's Friday. I know you guys are like, yeah, I'm getting ready to check out and have a party, whatever it is you're doing. We're not there yet. So, long-term stays the same. I think short-term is going to go up a quarter of a point. I think volume is going to go up a quarter of a point. Major market and sector rotation, I don't know. I don't know about either of those. Maybe. And then let's talk about the VIX. I'm not gonna speculate on those. Let's go look at the VIX. I don't know, Steven. I'm thinking closer to a -1. I'm thinking closer to a -1, from a -1.75 to a -1. So a decent recovery, but not enough yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. That's where we were. Last time we actually jumped it a half of a point. Because, why? Because it gave us a lower high here and it broke the low here. So, and that's where it ended up. So that's what happened. What has it done in the last 5 days? We've already scored the lower low. the fact that it's, gone from 24.84 to 22.5, this is not another lower low. This is still working on the same lower low, theoretically. It's come down, and it just, for me, it just sort of is the same move. So, gosh, I think I'm going to leave mine the same, actually. I don't think that's enough yet. I need to see it pop up here, because then this is a... No, we broke the low. Sorry, we broke the low there. We can still score this a quarter of a point for the lower low, and then we can score a lower high there. So that's what I need to see to continue moving this thing into a more favorable position. It's still a little elevated. I think there's still some concerns floating around out there that we need to be aware of. I'm going to leave that alone. I don't know. I think it's going to be closer to a -1, which I think supports taking good chunks of profit and not carrying trades through the weekend. I wish it is improving more. I hope it improves more. Let's go look at a couple of other things, and then we'll go to our watch list and our trading plan. Okay, let's go. Okay, longest win streak in 20 years. So there seems to be softened rhetoric. The market is liking that. The market is bullish today. The VIX is down today. Job report. Let's talk about the calendar. So what did we get today? That's next week. Let's go back. Positive surprise. We're happy with that. Stayed in line. Happy with that. Because there was some concern. Everyone's like, oh, it's up from 225 to 240. Were we concerned? No. We said, hey, it's not even 250 yet. It's only 1 week. Even if it gets above 250 next week, it's only 1 week. I'm okay with this. What do we see overall? Let's give it a total process. What's not good? Consumer confidence dropped, and it was already projected to go down. So we don't love to see consumer confidence. That very much helps lean towards recessionary conditions. But it's not market breaking by any stretch. We saw that. Job openings dropped from 7.5 to 7.2, which means what? Which means people either filled the jobs. If it dropped 300,000, we have to ask, did the 300,000 new jobs come? No, only 177,000 came. Well, if only 177,000 came, what happened to the other 123? And this is not exact. I'm just saying, proving the point. They canceled them. They're like, oh no, we're not going to actually fill that job. We're just going to go with what we have. We're fine. We're a little worried about conditions. That's what we're starting to see is some of these. So that's how we're going to see, are people just not looking to fill jobs now because they're worried conditions are going to slow. So that's going to show up in the job openings decrease. ADP employment dropped. Obviously, the GDP number was the scariest number. Consumer spending is fine. Personal income up a tick. That's fine. PCE as expected. Year over year, up a tick. As expected. It's not decreasing. The Fed needs to see it decreasing. It's not representative of tariffs. So I don't think this gives the Fed any fuel, from my opinion. I'm still July at best. We'll look at the Fed watch here in a minute. But I don't think this gives any fuel to the Fed whatsoever. Okay, Thursday. We talked about jobless claims. Friday, 133. We got 177. Love it. Our buoy is still floating, right? We're still in a good spot. The unemployment rate still in a good spot. Okay, overall, not bad. Not bad. Let's look at the Fed watch. Where are we for next week? Nobody thinks anything's going to happen next week. Where are we for June? 6 weeks later. So now it's still majority says no. So the market has caught up to me. I've always been July, so there's that. Right? I still think, yeah, there's a good chance. As long as we see some data between May and June, then that July number has some capability of moving into that prospect. And then let's see September. Yeah, definitely by September. So I think, yeah, we're all on the same page there. That makes sense. Okay, what do we have next week? Monday, nothing. Nobody cares about these minor reports. Tuesday, trade deficit was 122. 136 is expected. We'll see. That'll be interesting to see how the market interprets that. Right? How does the market interpret that? Is it growing? Is it reflective? Is it, to be honest with you, I don't really care. I don't think the deficit's necessarily a negative thing. In some instances, it would be, and then we would maybe see targeted trade policies. That would be nice. But overall, just an overall trade deficit, well, yeah. We're the richest country in the world. We spend more than we bring in. That makes sense overall. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's get to the watch list. That's what we really need to see is the watch list. Let's start at the top with Apple. So Apple's earnings came in and we are better than expected, but they have some concerns about the tariffs, increasing costs. However, having hit this here at a resistance level, now seeing a bit of a pullback, I'm okay with this as long as we see it turn somewhere in this range. This is going to pull back a little bit. That's fine too, wherever it happens to go. If we see Apple show this kind of strength and resilience, that's helpful to us overall. I'm hopeful. I would like to trade Apple. Let's see what happens. Whoops. I jumped ahead. Hold on. AbbVie. Nothing there for us yet. Amazon. Amazon looks fine. The earnings weren't as expected, but still looks fine. Bank of America moving higher today. Caterpillar moving higher. There's nothing here for us except for waiting on pullbacks. That's the problem with some of these types of bull opportunities where you're like, right? You may remember I'm like, hey, it's if we don't get in now and look to be able to hold on, when it gets to a certain point, we're just going to have to be like, well, there's not much we can do now. You could try for a continuation trade. I never like getting in late. I would never do a continuation trade over a weekend, that's for sure. This is actually kind of an interesting one here. If there was one that would convince me to take a new trade, this would be it. It's a nice looking turn coming out of that. Interesting. I would say interesting. No time to build it now, I would say, unless you went really flying. I don't want to rush that. CME just keeps moving higher, bullish. Same with CMP, got to wait. Same with Cisco. All of a sudden, there's a different tone. We're feeling a different tone. There's some more bullishness. Now here, you might be like, oh, well, if we're still going to be a -1, what does that mean? Well, we're a -1 coming off of a -2.5. Right? If we're coming off of a -2.5, that means that it's improved. That means it's improved. okay, we don't necessarily trade the number. We trade the momentum, a combination of the momentum and the number. And so that's what we're looking for here. Diamonds. Here's Duke. Like I said, alert came out here on looking for this bounce. No trade, not holding for the weekend. Done. Enbridge. Let me get rid of that drawing. Fastenal. Ooh, we talked about Fastenal being some type of potential, but I don't know. You're really bumping up against a heavy resistance. I'd feel better to see something like this. And then I've got, some open territory that I could maybe move into to that. I'm going to give this a little bit of leeway here at this point. Flex too close to earnings. I think it's before market too. Yeah. So you really only had like 2 days. Maybe you could have done that trade. Fox, no. GE Vernova. Oh, you son of a gun. I thought it was going to pull back. I've liked this one. I think this is a strong stock. I just don't think this looks very good right now. Gold, off the table. At this point, if you get down, so I'll show. Sorry, what did I do? Where's the alert? Anyway, the alert would have triggered up here and then had a stop down here. Well, if you're down where the stop is without reaching the trigger, obviously this is off the table. All bets are off. All bets. All right. Google. Yeah, I gotta say, actually, I kind of feel like now I'm looking at this wondering if I wanted to be a little more aggressive on something like that. But then I remind myself, you're minus 1.75, buddy. Stop trying to get aggressive until you see a little bit more confirmation from the buyer. So I feel okay, right? Sometimes I need to talk myself off the ledge. There's Goldman. Robin Hood. Okay. All right. So, I told you that financials can sometimes move in a way that's hard to actually trade. But we have this still sort of developing here that I think we might be able to catch something out of this. It's got some upside potential here for us. So yeah, I think that's viable. HWM. Oh goodness. I liked that one, but I wanted to see a little flag, a little pullback. We didn't get it. IBIT, no. IBM. Next pullback, maybe. ICE, next pullback, maybe. Small caps look okay. There's starting to be a little bit of a sustained recovery in the small caps that might show up in our major market analysis. So there's that. KMB, no. Coca-Cola, no. Kroger, MasterCard, not yet. Miguel's out of Duke as well. I don't think many people took that one. I liked it. No. Morgan, no. Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft had that nice earnings. I forgot about that. Netflix. Still waiting for that to give a kind of a pullback. NVIDIA. No. Okay. Looking for the next one on all of these, though. I gotta say, I'm feeling all right about performance as the market posture veered negative. That can be a tough time. And now I feel like there's some new... Look at this. Roblox. God. Just a lot of momentum. Reddit I like. Nice recovery. Seems to be maybe developing through here. So that puts us looking for an opportunity. And then who knows what we're looking for, right? Put Reddit on the short list for next week. Rocket Labs. That was viable, maybe. RTX needs to settle down a little bit for me. SE. Whew. Biggins. Here's the SPY, still going. Here's TJX. I was looking at that, and we flagged it, but never put it on, and it's a grinder. If you put it on, it would have worked. You'd be making money. A lot of money? No. Some money? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Toast, no. TPR, no. Close to earnings. Tesla's in a bit of a consolidation. TSM. I still feel like NVIDIA and Palantir are better, so, we'll stick with those. Twilio. Waiting for what's next. I like that, though, for, along with some others. Up. Dollar still struggling. Visa. VIX. And look at Walmart. Oh, come on. Don't stall me now. Let's look at Walmart one more time, and then we'll go. I mean, honestly, yeah. I feel all right. I feel pretty good. This looks pretty good. Yeah. Let's go talk about our trading plans. We are finishing up with this. What am I going to do with this now? Section 8 of our trading plan. So Section 6 and 7 is all about record keeping and analytics. What do I do with that? I make observations that I can then turn into goals that I can try to achieve by adjusting rules and routines. So, right, that's what we're thinking is, hey, can I be right more often? Can I make more money when I'm right? Can I lose less money when I'm wrong? Can I be more efficient at my entries? Can I be better at my, what is it you're trying to improve with your trading goals that will directly be impacted and then displayed on your results? That's the tie together, right? This is where we're like, okay, let the rubber meets the road. We really need to make the adjustments based on the observations. And if we don't have a standardization of metrics in order to, right, if you don't standardize it, you can't measure it. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And that's what we're trying to do here. Measure it so we can improve it. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. We feeling all right? Maybe we're going to get through this, move on to better times. Just a real brief touch on at or near bear market conditions and hopefully we've averted a recession. Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully we continue to see the market posture improve. Yeah, anyway. Well, it's been a quiet day today. I need to hear from you guys. Are we all on the same page with wrapping this week up? Feeling pretty good. I would expect most things closed, maybe a couple of things, but not much. Hopefully looking for a new window of trades to show up next weekend. Feeling good? Feeling optimistic? Good? All right. All right. Well, make sure you get that last little bit of record-keeping time in this week so we can talk about goals and setting goals. We'll set goals based off of weaknesses, goals based off of holes in the trading plan, goals based off of observations from trading performance. Can we close after hours? No, you got to get it done. 4 minutes. Shut it all down. Anything you want to close, get it closed. All right, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you Sunday morning as always. Happy trading.
Recording stop.